Chairs are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police had to escort them out. You even saw a stroller being moved amidst the chaos.
Jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting. I
think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch.
Tensions rose backstage as Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach came face-to-face before their rematch. Lamont remained unfazed, ignoring Gervonta's words outside the ring. He stayed focused on the fight itself, confident that his actions would speak louder. Roach firmly believes he will walk away victorious.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has confidently dismissed the idea that Gervonta Davis is the most powerful opponent he's ever faced. According to Roach, he's taken harder punches in past fights. Davis's power doesn't intimidate him. His calm demeanor reflects a mindset rooted in experience and resilience. He won't be overwhelmed by reputation alone.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He hard him.
During their first encounter, a momentary lapse led Davis to take a knee, sparking immediate chaos and shifting public perception. Roach's performance during that sequence elevated his status, portraying him as the first to truly test Davis. That moment has since fueled belief that Roach could dominate the rematch, now that he's seen as a real threat.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit burning my eyes, so I cut that.
Recent footage reveals a transformed Gervonta Davis, physically sharper, mentally focused. His increased strength and confident online presence show he's not only training harder, but locked into a mindset of domination. Roy Jones Jr. praised Davis's explosive style, a mix of power and technique. Though acknowledging unpredictability, Jones believes Davis's ring presence will ultimately prove too much to handle.
Friday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach because we haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers and amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But then the pro round takes over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or is Tank too superior now? And that's where the difference will come in. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands that. He gonna make it rough for anybody. But you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, "Oh, he gonna win." Oh, he gonna.
Many believe Davis wasn't himself in the first fight, whether due to personal distractions or a flawed game plan. Now, with pride on the line, Davis seems committed to proving his full potential. His focused training and bold statements suggest this rematch isn't just revenge. It's about re-establishing his dominance and silencing every doubt.
Breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Roach's ambition for the rematch goes beyond a simple victory. He's aiming for a knockout. His relentless training reflects his intent to make a statement. A decisive win over Davis could redefine his career, place him among boxing's elite, and build a legacy founded on skill and determination.
To retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, so you know, if that happens in the midst of it, you know, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie, I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been before. Mm-hmm. Heck, the fight they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Roach has expressed full confidence in his preparation, saying he possesses the complete skill set required for this fight. His words reflect assurance, not arrogance, confidence built through effort and training. He believes he can adapt to whatever Gervonta Davis.
30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? Mm-hmm. What makes you different?
He probably can't answer that question. he probably can't answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. Mm-hmm. That's evidently a power puncher. Mm-hmm. I got too.
Greg Hackett emphasized that the stakes are equally high for both fighters. He believes neither man holds a clear advantage. For Davis, Hackett warned that absolute focus and discipline are non-negotiable. There is no room for error.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, you know, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what, I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they're very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't that, and Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking the knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia shared a thoughtful take, noting Davis's ability to adapt and learn from past experiences. However, he stressed that without mental clarity, even the best tactics fall apart. Garcia's message was blunt. If Davis isn't mentally ready, he might as well not fight.
Hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever. He gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns the markets back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. And if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis acknowledged Roach's evident work ethic, but cautioned fans not to overvalue training footage. In his view, the true test comes under pressure, when punches land and fatigue sets in. For Ellis, Davis's grit and willpower matter more than any rehearsed drill.
To be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight, shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his, like, mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that?
In the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, let him do it. I don't know. Dude, I had personal stuff. A lot of fighters have issues. It's life, bro. This is our job, but their life keeps going. Life continues.
You have to juggle this with life.
You have to juggle. You have to balance. And it's tough, bro. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. You gotta be dealing with family, with kids, with wives, with girlfriends.
You know what's crazy that I always see the same.
A second loss could seriously damage Gervonta Davis's career and reputation. One defeat might be dismissed as an off night, but back-to-back failures in a high-profile rematch would spark lasting doubts about his place among boxing's elite. His image, pride, and future opportunities are all at stake. For Davis, this isn't just about redemption. It's about preserving his legacy with a decisive performance.
The rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not going to lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? It's really had your mind blown, like what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just their personal opinion of the person, their history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank, if I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. If you know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch.
Ellis hinted at secretive adjustments in Davis's training camp, suggesting a completely different approach this time around. Though the details remain unclear, the mystery has only added to the anticipation. Whatever is being fine-tuned behind closed doors, Davis's camp believes it will shift the outcome, making this rematch one of boxing's most anticipated showdowns.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both at, top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Rolly Romero defended Davis, reminding fans that even legends can have off nights. He argued that one poor performance shouldn't overshadow Davis's entire body of work. In Romero's eyes, Davis is still one of boxing's top names and most feared fighters.
People want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Bruce. Everyone has a off night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Teofimo Lopez observed how, after the first fight, Davis seemed isolated, with few supporters standing by him. That abandonment, Lopez noted, triggered widespread doubt about Davis's elite status. The critics questioned his skills and resilience. To Lopez, this rematch is Davis's chance to rewrite the narrative, restore his respect, and remind the world that one bad night doesn't define a champion.
A lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter praised Davis's intelligence and raw skill, emphasizing his sharp boxing IQ and adaptability. Porter believes Davis's ability to read opponents and adjust on the fly sets him apart in the lightweight division. Despite recent criticism, Porter warned.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it, so.
Gervonta Davis is now fully focused and pushing himself harder than ever to reclaim his place at the top. His intense training blends power, speed, and smarter strategy to correct what went wrong before. Davis isn't just trying to win. He wants to dominate and leave no doubts. Every round of training shows his hunger to rise above criticism, outclass Roach, and prove he's still one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident. Because you gonna go up against a different Tank, like I told y'all in previous videos. He gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he can get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you gotta think, Tank not used to losing.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
And that's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.